Formerly known Mercury X Shuni. Currently known as Hava Kills. I got music on all platforms under both names. Go check me out. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. It is a Sunday night, currently 8:23 p.m. on the West Coast. You feel me? Y'all, we finna get to this video, right? Demon Exorcist exposes the dark forces that run the world. Whew. Let's see what this is about right here. Don't be scared, y'all. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta believe in the Most High. Here we go.
We're here with Brian, the Demon Erasers?
Yeah, from Demon Erasers.
So we did not have this book. We met in the lobby. We both finished podcasts in the studio. We had an interesting conversation. I'm not sure if you're completely insane or making a lot of sense. Maybe a little bit of both, but just it's the subject. I'm not educated at all, so I'm not going to come with a debate. I just want to, some of the things you're explaining. Yeah. You showed me some videos actually that were very fascinating. You don't post those, you said, because it's people's vulnerable moments, but acting, there were some damn good actors.
It's very real. I mean, like what I do is I cast demons out, and so I pray for people, and I'm a Christian, so I'm not a Catholic, but I'm like an exorcist. That's the best way to describe it. Exorcist is kind of a bad word for it, but that's what I do. And so people call me in when there's really two gnarly situations they handle, like people with schizophrenia.
Yeah. Is this something that happens a lot? Do you get called in quite often? Or,
every week, every Saturday, I pray for people for free online, and there's groups of people that come, and then I just pray, and bro, I've seen the most crazy reactions.
You think just prayer can make a massive difference?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is prayer. It's the power, Christ has given us the authority to do this, so when I pray for people, we cast demons out, bro, it's very, very powerful. I've seen people, I've touched people, they've collapsed and peed their pants. Somebody's tried to touch me and something's knocked them off the ground. They flew back. I've seen things that I don't bother explaining to people usually because it sounds too unbelievable. I wouldn't even believe myself. If I was telling myself 5 years ago the things that I've experienced, so I have video stuff, but I don't show it because it's just too gnarly and it's too vulnerable.
You said we showed it, but you wouldn't post it to the public because it wasn't vulnerable moments people were in, and it looked damn real. The damn good actors if it was. People not going through the convulsion, the words not coming out, some crazy shit.
It's very real, bro. And I see it all the time. And when I go to pray for people try to confess things or reject things or say things to get the demonic attachment that's on them. Everybody's got voices subtly talking to them, okay? And so the thing is, people don't realize how prominent demons are. Demons are everywhere, okay? They're talking to you right now. They're talking to everybody. There's little whispers
always
in here.
Trying to get in.
Always whispering in people's minds. They're trying to tell you if you have little negative thoughts that pop in your head or absurd thoughts, you're why did I even think that? Bro, that's demons.
Interesting.
Okay? They are speaking to everyone. Everybody's oh, I'm a Christian. I can't have a demon. Wrong. Totally wrong. Jesus literally says to one of his apostles, get thee behind me, Satan. He says, was he talking to him or was he talking to Satan and the dude? Obviously, something was influencing the guy.
There's always evil trying to influence. And like I said, I'm still down my spiritual journey trying to figure everything out. But there's clearly something out there. I'm trying to figure it out. But there's clearly an evil, and there's these forces out there. And it's crazy. I think I first had the realization smoking DMT, something I don't recommend people do, but I think it's because it opens up a world of demons and
it totally
the
does.
Angels maybe too, but it opens up this portal that did not feel like an hallucination to me. It felt like it was real.
Same thing with ayahuasca. I mean, I don't know if you know, ayahuasca is ayahuasca is the name of the demon. Ka means land. Ayahuasca means the land of the demon. Mm-hmm. So and it's the same reason why
taking you into the demon world.
You're going to
the spiritual world. Get complex.
Yep.
But I think people need to be careful doing that. I was down in Peru. People were trying to bring me to do ayahuasca with them. I wasn't prepared. I'm like, dude, this is a serious thing to go out in the rainforest and
and they throw up.
Y'all, when y'all do psychedelics, you are opening doors. You are opening doors to your life. You know what I'm saying? Speaking from experience, not judgment.
And stuff and all that stuff. Bro, I see that when I pray for people. I see the same. It's almost like seeing people ayahuasca trip in some regard. They throw up, they lose consciousness, bro, when I pray for people, and something will talk to them sometimes. I
just watched some videos and it was pretty crazy. So unfortunately, I can't clip the thing. I think you're right by not releasing them because people are vulnerable. I think that's the right thing to do. But watching them, it's well, that's why I'm I should go interview you. It's not really a subject, no, but it's just so interesting. What got you into this, and how long have you been?
Dude, I've been doing it for I think 5 years now at this point. But I was living a worldly lifestyle. I was polyamorous. I had multiple girlfriends for 7 years, and I was Totally, like, I never did a drug, though. I never drank a drop of alcohol, never smoked a cigarette. I don't know why. Something in me said not to do that. I don't know why. And I had Tourette syndrome pretty bad when I was a kid, so I think maybe part of that might have been the reason why.
Scared of the,
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to get out of control. But like, I never did any of that until, like, you know, I was living in that sexual immorality situation.
I've fallen for the same sin I've fallen for,
Yeah.
you know, and finally snapped out of that. That was a hard thing to snap out of, but you realize, like, wait, this isn't doing anything for me.
Nope.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account.
And like, bro, like, it wasn't even, I let it go, and it wasn't even something that I was like a lot of Christians are like, I'm a Christian because my life fell apart and I was in drugs and then I found Jesus. Like, that ain't my story, bro. Like, I literally, like, I was like, had multiple girlfriends living my life, and then, bro, like, one of my girlfriends ended up getting, like, she's like my main girlfriend or whatever, she ended up getting, like, behaviors that you would quantify as, like,
Demonic or schizophrenia.
No, I would say, like, bipolar.
Okay.
And she started having, like, body spasms and unusual stuff that I was just like, this is not normal. Like, I'm not, like, something's wrong. But she had been reading, and I had studied demonology my whole life, but I studied it like it was a hobby. Like, I studied it like it was fairy tales in a way, okay? And this is how I looked at a lot of the biblical stuff. Like, I believed in God, but I didn't follow God. Like, I just, fairy tales.
A lot of people, they believe in God, but they don't, like, actually follow it.
Yes.
It's so much easier to pick and choose the rules you want to follow.
Oh yeah, of course. And so I did that. And so then, but then, like, I saw her get something that started affecting her. I called some churches. I was like, bro, like, do you guys cast out demons? They're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I know your Bible better than you. I don't even go to church. I was like, Mark 16:17 says, these signs will follow those who believe in my name. They'll drive out demons. So a lot of Christians are like, I'm a Christian. Well, do you cast out demons? Because your Bible says you should. And if you don't, like, I don't know, man. Like, do you even believe what your Bible says? Like, in a lot of ways. Or, like, what do you think? With 2025, all the demons took a break? Oh yeah, they're just gone.
Yeah, the demons just went away. You know, there's clearly evil forces out there.
Yeah, like,
And do you think schizophrenia is like a demon?
oh, 100%, bro. I have talked to, dude, I had one dude that was schizophrenic. Like, I went to his house, and his house was full of crosses. And like, I was brought, like, hey, he said he wants a prayer. I go to his house, like, I'm able to show up. And the dude is like, hey, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm like, hi, I'm so-and-so. All of a sudden, boom, the demon comes to, and he was like, boom. He's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, well, I'm here to pray for so-and-so. He's like, oh, you and your little Jesus? I was like, me, my little Jesus? I was like, sure. And he goes, look around you, fool. He's like, your Jesus is dead. Why do you think we put him on the cross everywhere? Bro, that was like pretty
insane that like this stuff could happen, you know? I mean, you can argue whether it's that person's mind or an actual demon. That can be debated, but it's pretty fucking crazy this stuff really happens.
Oh yeah, and it makes sense. I'm like looking around the room with all these crosses on this schizophrenic dudes. He's thousands, like hundreds of crosses, like everywhere, all over the wall. And I'm like, this ain't working. I was like, oh, this is not
we need something else. Yeah.
This is clearly not working. But the demon spoke through the man to me.
Like, voice is totally different.
Oh, yeah, you'll see their voices change. Their eyes will, like, their pupil will go black. It will go all the way, like, around to their pupil sometimes. But I've seen people's eyes go completely white. They'll roll back in their head sometimes.
I've seen people look like they've been demonically possessed. It feels like you feel the energy shift. It's like, you know, it's like you see something just happened through their mind. It's really strange when you see that.
It's totally weird. It's hard. Like, people think, like, you pass, like, the crackheads on the street. And you're like, oh, those are only where the demons are at. And you see that. But, like, that's not... Like, demons in people today are more subversive. They're more subtle. Like, they're influencing people. Like, you might, I mean, alcohol. It's alcohol.
Yeah.
It's Arabic. It means body-eating spirit.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's not alcohol.
And most Americans drink, I think, too. I mean, I don't drink all the time, but I do drink. I'm guilty of it.
Bro, that's like the purest form of demonic possession is when you black out drunk. If you black out drunk, that ain't you in your body, bro. You've given yourself over to something.
It's crazy. I know people that'll black out and they keep drinking. It's like, if you can't control your drinking, you should not be. You're like a different person.
That is because they are a different person, because some entity went into them. I mean, the word jinn is the Arabic word for demon. Okay, jinn. So that's why it's called that.
Jinn, that's a demon.
No,
okay.
That's why I don't drink gin. I don't touch gin at all. And it's crazy that it is called that because in the Quran, the demons are called jinns. Bro, when I get on jinn, it's a whole different thing, bro. That opens up portals, all of it. He's speaking facts.
A jinn is actually a root derivation where we get the word Gentile, something else.
Yeah.
Totally connected, but it's jinn. And so, the Gentile are the descendants of Giantiles. So, but that's like
Like another crazy story.
Whole another crazy subject, but yeah, no, this is where these words are, and like so much of our language, like the English language, is like such a bastardized language. It's ridiculous. There's been words that have been borrowed and then reborrowed and then switched over. So like the English language is occultic. People don't know this. This is witch tongue. We're speaking witch tongue.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's totally occultic, and it's got roots in occult. You can look at old books of witchcraft. Will have English words in them. It's English. Just comes from Anglish. Comes from Angelish. Anglo-Saxon is what it was, which means angel Saxon, which means sex with angels, bro.
Yeah, it's all like, I know these elites, they do like these sex magic rituals.
Oh, yes.
It's obvious these elites believe it. So it's like,
The elites 100%
you know, a
believe
year
it.
ago I probably wanted to talk to you, but now I start going down these rabbit holes. I'm trying to figure it out, but it's okay, these elites truly believe in it, and they have power. They're doing like sex magic, and you have like Epstein with his temples, and the cults, the numerology. It's just like, there's so much going on. It's like trying to figure out, like, where do you even start?
Dude, it's hard to find the pinpoint of what is true, and they make it that way.
That's why it gets tricky. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, so that's why I talked to you for the interview. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna talk to you, but I don't want to sound like I'm talking to some crazy person. But you're making a lot of sense, and it's like trying to figure out where do you start, where do you go. So it makes you like scared to even approach this. But there's clearly dark forces out there attacking us. It's just trying to understand them.
Bro, it's 100% like.
My name is Miranda Beckner, and I'm a Pima Medical student. I have always had the support from Pima Medical. Now I'm way more confident.
Like, people just don't pay attention to the wickedness that's around us. They think it's their own thoughts. They think it's their own mind. They don't realize, like,
the evil voice.
That voice is speaking to you. That is a demonic spirit influencing you into this. And then there's people that give, like right now, we deem the people that are schizophrenic. We're like, oh, you're shunned, put you in the corner. Yeah. We don't need to talk to you, you're a bad guy, whatever. Okay, oh, take medicine. We need to fix you, whatever.
Yeah,
and the medicine doesn't
down too much. I've had friends with schizophrenia, and it's just terrible.
Oh, it's demons.
That, you know.
Bro, and that's the thing about medication. It is a Band-Aid. It'll put you in a sedated state for a certain amount of time, but then the problems really never go away. It doesn't fix the problem. It just keeps you in this perpetuated cycle.
Represent demons. But here's the thing, like, the interesting part about the people with schizophrenia versus the people in control, who's the dude that gave Epstein his first mansion? Larry
Wexner. Yeah, he was
Wexner,
billionaire.
Bro, there's an interview of him, and he talks, and he literally says, in his interview, you can look it up, he says, I listen to my golem. His golem is a demon. It's a Jewish word term. And they're like, well, how do you know how to do what? How do you know what ads and what shots and what stocks to pull? He goes, I listen to my golem. Wow. He goes, my golem tells me what to do. Bro, he admits he's listening to a demon. Mm-hmm. But we don't look at him and go, oh, he's schizophrenic. Why? Because he's successful.
Yeah, he's a billionaire. He's a very powerful man. You know, like he said, he's the one that helped Epstein run his sexual blackmail operation with children on our politicians.
Yep, and we don't look at him and go, he's schizophrenic. Bro, he's admitted to talking to an entity that's giving him supernatural information. Bro, that is a demon, okay? His golem that's referring to himself. Okay, but we look at people in schizophrenia in the hospital and we're like, oh, you're a bad guy who's schizophrenia, and he tries to. Bro, the people in the.
You know, at my job, guys, there's this lady. She's schizophrenic. They told me that when they first met her, she was very, very nice, very, very welcoming, and over time, her mind just started to go, and you could walk past her. She's just talking to herself. She's just cussing. She don't like me. She don't really like nobody. She don't like certain staff. And, you know, she could barely walk, you know what I'm saying? That's why she's in that facility. But even though she's saying evil things, you know, bitch, and flipping you off, bro, you know, like, I know it's something spiritual, but you're in a facility for elders. I'm not going to say they don't know that, but they're not going to help with that. So, like, this lady, bro, you can't, if you approach her, she's, get out of here, get out of here. Like, it's not a
hospitals that are schizophrenic crazy. You want to know the difference between him and Rex Wessner or whatever his name is?
He's able to hold his self together and make money with other guys.
Oh, no. Him, he's listening to the voice. The people in the hospitals are trying to fight it. That's why they end up like that. It's very concerning.
That is very concerning. Because he's learned to harness it and listen.
Oh yeah, because the voice is not good.
They have, and like Epstein's money doesn't even make any sense. I just saw yesterday he won the lottery, $85 million.
I heard that.
It's like, oh my god,
multiple times. Did he win it twice?
I think twice. I think you're correct. So it was yesterday. Stuff like this. Like, how is this? Like big jackpots, like 85 million and something else. Like, how is this not out? Just the more you hear about this story, the crazier it gets. These are some of the most powerful people in the world.
Well, actually, surprisingly, I know another friend of mine. His name is Jerry Marzinski. He's a clinical psychotherapist. You gotta bring him on if you can.
Okay,
he's fantastic, dude. He literally he's analyzed like people that are criminally insane in prisons. Okay, and he's concluded that they are indeed entities. He's not approaching it from like some biblical perspective. Yeah. He's approaching it from just scientific.
And he came to that conclusion.
He's like, bro, these have to be entities. They have to be real. They follow patterns. They do all this stuff. Bro, he's even told me one of the entities has offered him the winning lottery tickets to not do what he's doing. He literally one of them spoke to him and said, "I'll give you the winning lottery tickets if you leave us alone and stop disrupting our world." But he said no because he's a good guy. He's obviously trying to live righteous in his heart and denied it. But like, bro, the demons.
I'm gonna pray for that lady at that home, and silently, you know what I'm saying, when I'm alone, because it seems like nobody's doing it, and it's just sad to like see somebody in that position when I know it's something spiritual going on with her.
For you stuff.
They just feed her medication and say, "Oh, just leave her alone. She just ignore her." She has her like.
And you have to see too. There's like a pattern. Like with schizophrenia, there's very similar patterns. Like with people who do DMT and ayahuasca, there's the same demons that come in. It's the same people. There's the jester. There's the same ones everyone will encounter. So it's like the clown.
When she seen me walking past her, she was like KFC. But I'm not gonna take that personal because that's she's not all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Like she's battling something that we can't see, but it's around her, it's around all of us, and it's overtaking her. And that's what happens over time if you don't figure out the truth. This shit can drive you crazy. And if you don't have some type of belief or like it's not perfect, you know what I mean? But like some type of relationship, bro, they overtake you.
So strange that there's the patterns. There has to be something.
Well, it's 100%. There's a real entities. I mean, like even in schizophrenia, there's a condition. It's very rare. It's called folie à deux, where folly of two is what it means. Where two schizophrenics, if they are very close friends and they put in the same vicinity, they will begin to hallucinate the same experience, hear the same voices. Wow. Like that's a real thing. Like that's a condition that's been very rarely recorded, but it does happen. And so, like, people know that, like, this is real. How are you experiencing the same hallucinations if they're just hallucinations? Obviously, they're more than that.
Yeah. Well, all throughout human history and all different societies, we always believed in, like, it's almost very similar stories through different religions with, like, the demons, the devils, whether, there's always some kind of demonic...
demon.
The Nephilim.
The Nephilim, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like even, like, the ancient societies before, they had, like, what were the old Persian, before the Persians, Anunnaki, is it?
Anunnaki, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a good example.
So you see all that patterns everywhere, different religions. It's just in the last 100 years or so that we're like,
in our modern world, you can't use that in the court system. For one, because people are gonna probably lie and abuse it, and then two, it's like, bro, it's mainly America. Because if you study other countries, they all have different beliefs. Asians in Thailand and India. All these places, they have their gods that they believe in. Africa, they have their gods. Egypt, they have their gods. But in America, you're crazy if you believe in anything else. Like, it's just straight logic, physical world, science, da-da-da-da. And I feel like that's the trick, bro.
All nonsense, the science.
Oh, yeah. They tried to write it off. But like, the reality is like, I think, in my personal opinion, we're all of one religion. Like, we just don't recognize the connective parts of it. Like, I don't know if do you know anything about Sikhism?
I don't, but I've noticed all the similarities between different religions. I've really been noticing that.
Okay, well, here's a good example. Like, all the religions today are derived from Christianity. And there's a reason for that, because there was like a big catastrophic collapse of society. Where are all the Zeus worshippers today? Where are the Zoanthropisms? Where's the worshippers of Baal? Where's the Persian emperor? Where are they all at right now today? What happened?
Just you, building your app.
I was
day
going down that
44.
dark path, y'all.
Like, why?
I've been looking for the truth for years, and I was going down. Like, bro, my testimony, I don't know how I would tell it, but one day I would tell it because, like, I was just going down this path of trying to study and calling on certain things and stuff like that, and I started to realize everything leads back to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of creepy.
Their temple. Why are we digging up their temples? Why are we digging up their pyramids? Why are we digging up their structures? What happened? Clearly, there was a world cataclysmic event.
Yeah.
And I think the younger Dryas, what's his name? That talks about the younger Dryas.
Graham Hancock. Oh,
Yeah,
not
Graham
him,
Hancock.
but somebody had a guy with him, yeah.
Yeah. And so they talk about that, and there is clearly some type of catastrophic event that happened, and that catastrophic event. There's Pompeii, and that's a really good example of one, bro. That something happened that disrupted and destroyed all the
Whole
religious,
civilization.
all of it.
Yeah, and I'm almost certain this is true. So I was reading Graham Hancock, and he was talking about Peru. So I flew down there
Peru.
to see these walls that they built. It's just, there's no possible way to explain it. It's these giant structures, thousands of pounds each, and they're just perfectly fit like eight angles, no mortar, just laid upon each other. Like, the Spanish couldn't build them, the Incas couldn't build them when they got there, and the official history says the Incas built these walls. No, look at this, and they're just magic. It's standing in front of them, you're just like, this is just unreal.
The Peruvian, okay, I gotta tell you, the Peruvian story, one of my friends is, best friends is Peruvian, and so I was like, bro, tell me the actual story, like, what's going on there? So he's like, asked his mom, asked some people, whatever. He told me, he goes, bro, if I tell you the story, this is not the native story that you're gonna hear everywhere. He goes, but this is the story that the people actually believe. They said there was a race of homosexual giants that were deformed that would eat people that built Machu Picchu. And they said that they came in, built Machu Picchu, and then one day a star came down, shone really brightly, and boom, it shot them, and they all ran out of the mountains and killed themselves. This is the same story of what's called the Gentil in Basque mythology. Same exact story. These giant hairy people, a star came down, which is said to have heralded the star.
Middle East? Is that supposed to happen?
The Machu Picchu.
That's Peru, but that's what I'm talking about now. With
the Basque people, they're between France and Spain.
Yeah, so it's the same story.
Same story, but a star. But you know what they said? It's the star that's said to have heralded the birth of Christ, and it's called Gentil, Gentil. Okay, and they were the Gentile technically, but this is what it stems from. And when you read the stories about the Gentil, you're like, oh my gosh, this is where the story of Christmas actually comes from.
I don't know the story of Christmas. Where did that come from?
The real story of Christmas comes from the Gentil. So what happened was that the birth of Christ happened. They saw a star, which was the Star of Bethlehem, and they all went and the giants. They were hairy, horned, and giant deformed entities that built all these megalithic structures all over the world. They all went and committed suicide when they saw the Star of Bethlehem, because there's a prophecy in the Bible that says Jesus will come, they will bruise your head, and you will bruise his heel. So all of these giant monstrous creatures that built all this crazy stuff killed. They died. They killed themselves. It was not a silent night. When they saw the Star of Bethlehem,
They all wiped themselves out.
They wiped this, and it says there was a few that remained. There were just a very few, and they remained, and they went into hiding. And Olenta Zero, Olenta means old, and Zero means zero, old nothingness, or old Nick, is literally the only one that remained, and he would come back at Christmas time bringing gifts, hoping that the Christians wouldn't kill him. And so this is actually where Christmas comes from.
That's insane. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's why you get Krampus, that hairy, you know what I'm talking about?
No, what is that?
He's the Christmas dude with horns that looks like the devil. That's
Have I seen him or not?
You ever seen
That's
Krampus?
from, I'll flip it up. That's from the Giant.
That's from the stories of the Nephilim giants, and it's the same
The Nephilim,
stories.
different world, but I don't know. I know, like, I haven't been to Egypt, but you see this stuff, and it's no possible way it was built by humans with the technology they had. They didn't even have steel in Peru. Peru also, so I met some locals, and we went this long hike out way out in the middle of nowhere. There's these like cut like portals to other dimensions.
Oh yes, those are demon doorways.
Yeah, it was like, and they were like,
they're just doors into the rock.
they're like known out, but there's a couple mile hike. Hardly any tourists know about them. It's just like, it's just these crazy.
Because everybody talks about, like, especially like New Agers, right? How our memory was wiped, and like just all these different things. So something wiped the planet clean at one point. Period.
Quickly cut portals.
Those rock formations are actually, I call them demon doors, and what they are is you'll see them throughout the world. There's another one you should look up called Dolmen.
Walking to one, middle of the night, you walk out there, and there's boom, this portal right there. It's like,
and it's just solid rock, and it's just like a cut in.
Perfectly like laser cut, and maybe after I'll see if I can find some pictures after this. It's show you some of the shit down there. I got some crazy stuff I ran into in Peru.
Dude, it's nuts, because the Nephilim had an ability to manipulate rock in some capacity, and this is where you get these stories of like, oh, they turned to stone. You know, all these fairy tales like, oh, the trolls turn to stone, or Medusa turns them to stone. Like all these.
Because you see the same themes over and over.
Yep, they had an ability to manipulate rock in a way that was unnatural to what we understand, whether it was a technology they had or whatever. But these are the stories of the demons. This is what the demons could do. They could manipulate rock. They had technology.
It's so crazy. The history books say the Inca built this, but there's Inca buildings. There's the Inca building rock right beside it. I'll show you after that. It's just they're not like
they're not anything and the rocks are smaller. And you'll notice that the rocks on the bottom are the bigger ones, and the ones on top are the little.
Really, like to really grasp in your mind that there is a living God puts fear down the crack of my ass. I'm sorry, I just had to say it like that.
And they're perfectly put together with no mortar. They're just like placed there. It's impossible. Like it's like I've done a little construction. This is impossible.
Yes.
It's like
that's Nephilim technology.
We could figure out technology today, but I don't think we could build these today.
There's theories like maybe they could have poured them in some capacity, or there's other stuff. But the reality is, like, you see the human architecture on top.
Yeah, no,
always.
The little rocks are on top. Really good there. I got all over
everywhere. It's that way in Egypt. It's everywhere. Everywhere in the world, you'll see the big rocks on the bottom and the little rocks on top. That's because the humans came after the Nephilim. The humans came after the giants.
When you see with your own eyes, it's 100 times better.
Oh, came after.
I was like, that's insane. And like, well, with the pyramids, they recently found like.
Holy shit! Listen to this.
This is
okay.
Juicy,
I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time?
This is juicy. So the total. Pay attention.
Things, columns going down. I believe.
Okay. So that's that. I read into this. That was it was woo-woo science, bro. It was woo-woo science, which I thought was really cool too at first. But then I started looking into it, and apparently it's
disappointing.
I know it's disappointing because I was like, dude, that's epic too. I was like, cool.
So it's not really columns.
We don't really know. They did. Okay, it was a LiDAR scan with this new technology, and then this dude like projected like the idea of what he thought it might be. But
okay, so that was kind of just drawn up. Those giant columns going down.
Yeah, it was drawn up. It's unfortunate because I thought it was kind of cool.
It's possible still, though, right?
Yeah, there could be something, but the way the technology is impossible.
Those probably weren't built when we think they were.
Oh, there's no way they were built when we think they were. Like that's definitely a for sure thing. I mean, there's water erosion on the Sphinx. There's obviously some. Yeah. There was some kind of catastrophe that they went through as well. I mean,
why the world has to get destroyed again? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Like you can get so many people on this boat because people are still doing the same thing. You as a regular person, you might just be working, you know what I'm saying, trying to find God, whatever, but then you have elites in government in higher positions that are controlling the world through ritualistic ways, through demons, through magic, casting spells on the people. Like, why can't we just live? So
pyramids, but just so you know, like everywhere you see pyramids, that was human sacrifice rituals. I don't know if you know this, but like they don't want to admit it in Egypt because they would like ruin their tourism if you find out that they've just been sacrificing humans there.
But lots of them probably too.
Lots
of
the
Aztecs would do like millions.
Yes. Bro, why do you think they were doing it? You think they were just doing it for funsies?
The gods, the demons were demanding human sacrifice.
Exactly.
Often
where do you think they got?
Are good warriors. They want valuable people.
Where do you think they got? They want people that you love, really. But where do you think? It's the same thing the occults do today. Like, why do you think the occult people, the people in high positions, sacrifice people?
As many of you guys know, I run a free speech podcast. That comes as a price. It's being demonetized everywhere. So one way to support the podcast is to buy your books from AntelopeHillPublishing.com. Today's selection is The Trans-Industrial Complex. This book covers the money-making machine of the trans industries and shows us not to help people, but to make money and get rich. So again, if you want to support the podcast, go to AntelopeHillPublishing.com and be sure to use promo code FIGHTBACK. That'll save you money and support me. Thank you. Hey guys, I'm demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support me and the podcast, go to FightBackPodcast.com and you can buy some cool merch like the shirt I'm wearing now.
Kanye West.
Some power, yeah.
Kanye West admitted that he sacrificed. Yeah, but why do you think they do this? It's the same principle. Human sacrifice didn't end; it just evolved. Mm-hmm. You just don't know what it is anymore. That's why it's
more like hidden. And,
it's right.
People have mentioned like, maybe abortion is a way to like,
it's a part of it,
bypassed and tricked it. I know it goes beyond that, but you see things like this, you're like, wow, it just seems too crazy. You almost don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I remember when I started looking at human sacrifice, I was thinking the similarities to the deities they were giving them to, and I'm like, this is just dark and crazy.
I gotta show you cigarettes. I gotta show you cigarettes, bro, because it's gonna change your perspective of cigarettes forever. When you see the pack of cigarettes, all have pyramids on them, bro.
Wow.
Like they all do. Like that, the Marlboro logo, that ain't a Marlboro. Like pyramid. Chevron, that's a pyramid.
We got our money.
The camel
have like a pyramid.
Well, that's an unfinished pyramid. And so that's specifically directly to the Bible. The Bible, there's an unfinished tower. It's called the Tower of Babel in the Bible. And they try to finish this tower to get permeate into the spiritual realm. And then God stopped them and divided the world. Why do you think you got pyramids all over the world? All those pyramids, they're also called ziggurats. What other word sounds like ziggurat, by the way? Cigarette?
Yeah.
That's the only other word. Okay? And what are the paper they put? Those little rolly papers that they put cigarettes, if you try to roll them yourself, what are they called? Zigzags. Bro, why? That's weird, right? Ziggurat, zigzag, and you're like, that's strange. Why there's pyramids all over it? Because you're the human sacrifice, bro. Like that's literally what it is. Like you are the burned offering. You are the continued burned offering to the gods that these elites that are in control. Which, by the way, do you know who owns Kraft and why they put all the poison in your food?
Who owns Kraft?
The big tobacco companies own Kraft and owned by
they're
owned by that
in our
company.
food. I should be talking to have a Gatorade right here, but like
That's how it is.
They put poison in our food or things. Like I try to mostly eat healthy, but it's impossible to eat fully healthy. It's like you have to cook constantly, and but people are poisoning themselves. You look at the obesity epidemic, the health, the mental health. It's like spiritual and physical. It seems like it's all connected.
They're doing it because you're the sacrifice, bro. They are sacrificing you. The more humans they sacrifice, and it's all owned by the people with the little hats that we don't want to talk about. If you want to look into where it all.
Y'all know what he talking about. He talking about the people that start with the J, and I'm not even gonna say it on my channel.
Points to, and these are people
Human
high level.
sacrifice, yeah,
they're involved in human sacrificing because that's how they get their
That's how they get
information
their
from the
power,
gods. That where do you think the Aztecs got their perfect calendar from, bro?
Yeah, their calendar's more perfect than ours. Yeah.
Where do you think do you know they have the terra preta? It's the growth. It was burned biochar that was burned without oxygen in some capacity, and it's so rich that they have a way and a system where they didn't have to farm. Their plants like cycled their stuff. Like everything was perfect there. And the Aztec. Where do you think they got
built
that information
city out in the
from?
middle of a giant lake. They had this crazy, beautiful city built. The reason the Spanish were able to conquer them is because all the other people hated them because they did so many sacrifices. So Cortez went and worked with all kinds of different leaders down in Mexico to rally against them to fight the Aztecs. So it wasn't just 400 Spaniards. He was very intelligent, and he got maybe millions of fucking other people to fight the Aztecs alongside him because they were taking so many of their children and their women to sacrifice.
Now I see why countries are cut off. Because, and I'm not talking about Mexico, I'm talking about just different countries, bro, why it's not easy to come over because they're still doing human sacrifices in other places, cannibalism. If everything was just open for people to just walk through, they'll bring that shit over here. You know what I'm saying? So that just gives me another piece of understanding why we have the military, why we have the army, why we have lines that you cannot cross without not knowing who you are. This is dangerous, bro.
But they were sacrificing
Especially Americans, fresh blood. People don't know. They just, we just locked in this work cycle, bills. We get distracted. That's easy bait, bro.
No, that's the thing.
No, I know they were to their gods.
To their gods to get
power.
information.
And information, yes.
This is where they got the knowledge they got
the
from.
stories that go. It's the same story everywhere I've looked.
It's bro. If you just type in Aztec human sacrifice, you'll see this typical picture that comes up where they are. You'll see the guy stabbing, and you'll see the pyramid, and sitting on top of the pyramid is this weird, gnarly god-looking thing with blood dripping down its mouth, eating it, and you see them eating the heart, and then you see sacred knowledge. It's like this little floating bowl of knowledge or whatever, and you're like, they're telling you, you just look at it, and you're like, they're telling you, sacrifice the human at the pyramid to the demon god, get sacred knowledge. That's what they've been doing, bro. It's the same thing, and that's what Hitler figured out, by the way, too.
I haven't dug into her. He was doing some occult stuff too, and just
bro. Why do you think he moved? The gates of Babylon were moved there. The throne of Satan was moved there. All of this stuff was moved there for a reason, because he figured out, if you make sacrifices at these points, do you know what the word Holocaust means?
No
definition.
Sacrifice something, or
bro?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't want you to know that.
So the Holocaust was used as human sacrifice. But in history school, they're teaching it as like, he just wanted to conquer and kill these certain amount of people. No, it was something spiritual about that. That's crazy.
Because if you knew that, you'd be like, it's a little bit different when you realize
sacrifice.
It's called the sacrifice. Imagine us calling 9/11 the sacrifice.
So it was like almost like it was a given by. You look at the people at the top. It's not the regular ones, but the people at the top seem to be doing some nasty manipulation.
They were totally.
Even Iran just
mass shootings. Bombings, Boston bombings. This isn't just happening because, bruh.
of using dark forces in their attacks.
Really? I've heard some stuff about that, but I haven't seen anything. But
I
that's
haven't gone any
fascinating.
depth on that. I just saw like the headlines, so I don't know. I should do a little more research on that, but I know they accused them of that. I read.
They're involved in all of it. I mean, like Israel is the head of witchcraft. I mean, there's forces above this that are influencing Israel, I think, in a lot of ways, but they are the head. They're the leading.
I can turn your wildest ideas
that
into a
thing out my
song.
face.
Just describe it in a few
The hell?
words. Choose a style, and let Mareka V ate.
sacrificial thing. That's why they control all the stuff, and that's why they put all the poisons in our
So they
food.
can control the media. You're not supposed to say that. They'll call it anti-Semitic. And again, it's a very small elite few. But you mention this, and they start yelling, "Oh, you hate Jews!" Blah blah. I was like, no, I'm just seeing there's some people with power. They just have some nasty stuff, like the Rothschilds. People act like it's crazy, but it's like, okay, they are the one that got the Balfour Declaration. You can historically like track these things. They are the ones that said they're going to pull America into World War I, and then all of a sudden we jumped into World War I.
Bro, they instigate every single war that we've been around has been a human sacrifice ritual. Nobody wants war. You don't want war.
No.
I don't want war. No single person wants war.
No.
You know who wants war?
Wow.
The people in power, and even the people in power.
Wow. So the children in Gaza, Palestine, that was just all a sacrifice. It wasn't just trying to conquer the land. That was the spiritual true element, y'all. Wicked.
Like, bro, you got everything you want. Like, you're some king. You could have any girl you want.
yeah, they
What
want.
do you
Fight.
want? What do you want more for? You don't want more. You want war because it's human sacrifice ritual. Every single war that we've had has been a human sacrifice ritual. It's been planned. It's been instigated. Like, the little mustache man was working with the people with the small hats. They weren't like enemies per se. Okay, like they continued this stuff. Like, and like people want to have all these debated arguments. Just look at what his freaking occult friend wrote. Like, bro, they believed in the Nephilim. They believed in occult and genetic hybridization. They believed in all kinds of like perversion of the genome. They were trying to resurrect Nephilim angelic bloodlines. This is one of their things they were experimenting with all that stuff.
I need to look that was up.
Heinrich Himmler. Okay, look him up. Like bro, he has a book and like he talks about some of the stuff and he believes in. You can type in gnomes and dwarves and elves. All this stuff was.
Epstein was doing the exact same thing. He was trying to breed special things.
Bro, it's the same
I think
thing.
it was Bill Barr who gave him his first job. Then his son's the one that shot him in jail. He wrote a book about these slaves are making these hybrids of like people. It's like
I know it sounds crazy.
the alien stories too. They're always trying to breed races, and it's just.
Oh yeah.
Like, stuff that sounds crazy when you just start seeing the same pattern over and over and over. There's got to be something there.
It starts to get real weird. I mean, like aliens are demons. Like all of it's demons.
That's kind of the conclusion I came to. People, aliens, I kind of feel like it's more of an interdimensional demon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like the same things. Like people that have alien abduction experiences, identical to what I deal with when I'm dealing with people that
I've
have
been
demonic
noticing all
experiences.
these
Like,
connections. I don't think
same
aliens.
exact thing.
I don't think they're coming from outer space. I think they're coming from right here.
They are coming from within us. They are a part of our society. They're part of our
Possibly
culture.
like another dimension. It's almost
yeah.
like like black matter. They say we can't see 95% of the matter in this universe. It's almost like maybe there's like.
I would agree. There is something
dimensions,
there.
or I don't know, like this, how you really put that into proper terms, but
There is a spiritual dimension. There's a spiritual, and I think mushrooms, I think ayahuasca, I think these things, they take you to these realms,
No,
but you're
exactly.
going there of violation. You're not going there and
I've had people go in and they're like, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah.
My friend said,
This is violation.
The Joker, always Officer Dean comes to him and says, "What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be here." And he's just like, "Can I go?" And he's like, "No, you can't go now." That is like, "Can I please just go back?" And it's just like, "No, you came to my place."
Bro, I know this dude that like literally did mushrooms and then he came to Christ and then he did mushrooms again. But after a while, he was like, maybe I could try it again. He did it again. He said the worst experience ever. He said the entity showed up and they brought him before the throne of God and they said, "Your son ate from the table of the dead. You ate from our table of rotten decay." I mean, mushrooms grow out of poop. They grow out of rotten decay. And like, bro, they brought him before God, and he was like terrified. He said it was the worst, most terrible
That
experience.
can be very
Yeah.
intense. People need to be careful when they're messing around with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think there's a level of protection that God has on people in ignorance. But like, once you know, it's like God almost is like, okay,
Definitely. From experience, bro. The things I survived, I know God had me, bro. Even before I was believing, even before, like, not praying nothing, just doing shit. Like, God had me. That's crazy.
and
That's why I don't think I could experiment anymore. Once you cross over and you're like, "Oh, what are these fucking entities I'm talking to?"
Yes, That's you can't. And the same
Like
thing
you said,
with
I try giving you
bro,
like knowledge and offering you things,
Yeah.
and it's just like I don't trust these.
No, yeah. The same thing with like burned offerings, bro. Like, I mean, like people don't know, like cigarettes, that you're burning an offering. You're just burning it down to something you don't know. Okay, it's a burned offering. Same thing with weed in some capacity. But this is the crazy part. Like, people smoke weed and like they will not get anxiety. Some people do, right?
Yeah, sometimes I do. That's why I don't really smoke weed because every now and again I get like anxiety.
Bro, the reason why you get anxiety, I'll explain it to you very simple. It's because your spirit is so connected to your body now that if you smoke it, everybody that I explain this to, like they'll try to smoke weed after I explain it to them, and anxiety because their spirit is now woken up because I've already talked to them, and so now that they know the conviction's there, when you burn the offering to the demon, when you smoke the cigarette or burn that offering to the weed, that spirit comes. But that spirit's like terrified now. If you're aware, you're picking up on the spirit's anxiety. So that's why you get the anxiety. It's because you're more spiritually aware. If you can smoke weed and you feel nothing, then you're spiritually like probably dead.
Yeah, I'm always aware of the energy around me. I really pick up energy. You know, it sounds crazy, but you really can sometimes feel something.
Dang, so it's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, bro. I've been smoking weed my whole life, bro. 1 year, and that was when I had my spiritual awakening. That's when I started like really studying and like looking into things. I was meditating. And then one day I smoked. Man, I got stuck in this like alternate universe reality. Like, if you know what derealization is or depersonalization, it's like that. It's like you feel like you're here, but you don't feel like you are here. I was stuck like that for like 6 months, and I had to quit for a year. And then I got back on it, but then it was never the same. So every time I smoke, I get paranoid instantly. I'm like, whoa. So I guess it's because I'm spiritually aware.
They're bad, or you can just be like, this is off, you know, get out of here.
Yep, that's
But
your spirit, bro.
You should
That's your
listen to
spirit.
that. You know, it's like you should trust. You know, something. Tell
And
me
you know
something's
what?
off.
For the ones that do smoke weed, I'm gonna stick up for them. I'm not gonna say you're spiritually dead like he says, cause like that's very generalizing. It's just a different experience at a different time. Cause there's people who smoke weed and they don't get paranoid and they're very spiritually aware. Just put that in there.
Fucking listen, I think
100%. That is your spirit. That is your spirit talking. But we've been
I'm
negated
not better because I get paranoid and then someone else doesn't. You get what I mean?
by society to not listen to our spirit. Like, we've been prompted by so much of society to say,
to make it
shut your spirit off. Bro, they do it to children.
crazy, or you know.
Yeah, they do it to children. When you go into school, bro, like, let's talk about the shots they give your children. Your child would be like, don't give me a shot, and they freak out. Why? Why is a kid, like, it's no big deal.
They know, they
Their
know it's
spirit knows, do not do this to me. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
It's their spirit that's calling out.
Like, even this vape, he got me thinking, bro. I've been trying to quit the vaping for a while, but yeah, man, we're gonna stop the video right there. I'm gonna get back with a part 2, y'all. Man, learned a lot tonight, and it makes a lot of sense. Formerly known Mercury X Shuni, currently known the Hava Kills. Go check me out on all musical platforms, you know what I'm saying? Check out the content. If you watched it with me, I appreciate you. And don't forget to pray, seek the Most High, and just know it ain't that many gods, bruh. You gotta kill somebody to get what you want. It's not funny, but it's just more so like, dang, like, I gotta sacrifice people to, like,